Hey, it's your girl Diamond Beautiful with a 3, not a E, and I say let's dirty talk with MrTakeYaBabyMomma.
Man, y'all already know what time it is. It's your boy KT, aka MrTakeYaBabyMomma, and y'all tapped in with Dirty Talk ATL podcast. Now I told y'all this whole nother season, it's a whole nother run. Everything we doing is like being on a marathon. It ain't no race. Ain't nobody trying to get to the finish line. This finish line ain't gonna never end. You wanna know why? Because we always progressing. We always climbing up. You should never settle for less. Always set your goals and your bar high. And with that being said and done, I got somebody right here that I got the pleasure of meeting in an environment where you have to set the bar high. Where everything that you're doing matter. The people in the room matter. You want to know why? Because everybody put in dedication to be in that one room. Everybody made sacrifices to be in that one room and that one event. Whether it's for one person, two people, no matter how many people's involved, you tapped in and you there for a reason. So if you there, don't it make sense to network? Don't it make sense to get yourself and your business out there? So why is you just sitting there wasting time? You know what I'm saying? Not only that, when I seen this man coming through the building, guess what he was doing? Working. He wasn't like in a club where everybody just posted us in there watching somebody. No, he was working. Not only just working, putting other people in position so they could be able to work for themselves, so that way they can also have their own platform, have their own light to shine on them and everything they got going on, while giving other artists, entrepreneurs, clothing, fashion model people, everything. Everybody had an opportunity. So enough me speaking, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to get to the creator right here, the man that put the motion in the ocean for that wave to keep flowing and never stopping, man. What's going on with it? How you doing today?
Okay, yo, no, talk your shit, man. I like what you said. I like what you said, man, because you know the plan is to help us evolve, man. For some reason we get into areas and we take things lightly sometimes.
Right.
You know, lately it's been a thing where we take everything as a joke. I was just saying this about Instagram and comments. You know, it could be something real serious. Some way, somehow, we find things funny.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it does mean a lot when you networking and everything like that, man. But I appreciate being here, man.
Man, for sure. Tell the people who you is, man. Let them know what you do. You know what I'm saying? Because I know y'all watching, not seeing his face. I know y'all familiar, but you just never had the time and the opportunity to be in the same space with us. So let these folks know who you are, what you do, and just how you even thought about being in the position that you're in right now.
Well, first off, I want to say I'm very excited to be here with you, bro. I appreciate you for letting me come here and kick it with you for real.
For sure.
This is I don't get to come and sit down on people's podcasts or shows too often.
True.
Because I'm having them come on mine.
Exactly.
But I'm Kwame Bowers, aka Quad One Big Deal. I own DLE Radio. I'm also an artist, like my homeboy KT. And by the way, I heard that album it was dope.
Oh man, appreciate that. Man, no cap.
Talk. Now, also, I'm an electrician. I'm a father first.
Okay.
And I'm a brother, and you know, I try to whatever I can do to help out other artists is what I'm here for. So I try to be an extra hand for other artists.
Here, now you said something that just caught my attention. Now the average person gonna hear music artists and all this, but you said you're an electrician. Yeah. Now, this was so ironic about that. I was also a field technician. But I didn't get the schooling for it. I ended up learning by hands-on. Basically, I was in a warehouse environment where I'm the low man on the totem pole, just the tool man, and everybody started leaving. And guess what? Opportunity presented itself.
Right.
And I remember going in there the first time. I said, man, I'm not touching no power box. I got me, man, y'all like, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting electrocuted. And like you said, when people start moving into different positions, whether it's going up or they're going to go do their own thing, you find yourself doing something that, if you would have asked yourself in 9th grade, would you be doing it right now? You probably would have said, hell no. Your goals and dreams are probably somewhere totally different. So when it came to the electrician, did you learn it hands-on or did you actually go to school for it first?
You know what's wild, man? I went to school for it, but I actually was going to school for HVAC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and what happened was my father, and I learned that hands-on because my father is an HVAC technician. He owns a company back in Florida. And underneath him, I was learning the trade and At some point I was like, all right, let me get it together. You know what I mean? I had to get my son was born. I said, I gotta get it together before I, F up somewhere in the streets. So I decided to go out and get my HVAC. Plus I wanted to change. I wanted to do something different, man. Instead of, just, I was doing security. You know what I mean?
And I know how that lifestyle is.
Yeah, I was doing security, and I was only doing security because I felt like I couldn't do nothing else. You know what I mean? Education wasn't there for me because of plenty of things. Okay. And so I said, you know what? I made the wrong decisions all my life. Let me go ahead and make the right one. I jumped into HVAC, but they didn't have the HVAC classes. Oh. So the next thing they had was electrical. So I jumped in that, and ever since then, man, I've been doing high voltage, low voltage, electric.
Okay, see that's dope. See when they had us doing out there, I was working for a company when we had contracts with T-Mobile. Right. So right when T-Mobile, see a lot of folks didn't know T-Mobile had been bought Metro Route years before they actually made it publicly known. So we would go out to the different sales site towers, bring out the old T-Mobile equipment. I was part of like the demolition team. Gotcha. So, but the thing about it that made it tricky was, even though we was taking everything out, we had to also know how to put it back in. Because see, a lot of people don't know, when you be dialing in a 911, or you don't have cell service because of the storm and whatnot, it's because the site around you is down. Oh yeah. These cell sites cover a certain amount of miles going in a certain area in perimeter. You know what I'm saying? So we get to a cell site, and I done logged in with T-Mobile, and I'm like, yo, look, yada, 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 I'm logging in. Is there any 911 operator on site? Basically, that means it's literally a little box that look like a DVD player that's sitting inside that cabinet that operate the 911. So if I shut this site down, basically mean I cut the power off and no power going to it. Anybody that dial 911 ain't getting 911. They getting a you see what I'm saying? So it was real critical, because at first you like, man, that's BS. Y'all ain't talking about that. Especially if you go to certain sites that don't have that equipment in it. And when you find yourself running into it, you take it more serious, because that 5 to 10 seconds that site is down could be somebody's life in hand. You know what I'm saying? So we had to learn, okay, how to bring a site back up if I shut it down. If I take these wires, and not only that, y'all gotta learn too, and then y'all, unless your company not telling y'all this, you gotta go in your power box when you move in and check every breaker. Because what happens is, they'll have that breaker going and there's no wire going to it. So guess what happened? That meter just steady running off something that's not even powered up in your house. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So when I started telling folks that, they're like, bro, what you talking about? Let's go to the power box. I have to get the screwdriver. I got a electrical one over there right now. I start unscrewing everything. I look at everything. And then not only that, people got to realize too, when you're dealing with power, you're just not dealing with the power that's in front of you. You gotta ask yourself where that backup power. Because you come on now, you think they just got one power source for everything? Think about it now, just like your car. Your battery down when it kicks in. That alternator. So it's the same concept. You can't just go in there and say, oh, I know how to do the breakers, now I'm an electrician. No. Because you can still go in there and touch that wire and it still got live current coming through it, because a backup generator or a backup power source somewhere around. You know what I'm saying? So
I tell people all the time, especially customers, when I slowed down from high voltage, I got into low voltage because it was more promising. High voltage was a big deal back in, I want to say around 2012 to 16, maybe 17. There was issues with high voltage. It wasn't that much work. So low voltage was a big deal at that time. And I used to tell the customers, because I was working for AT&T, DirecTV first, and I would tell them, because the Comcast people would be like, oh, I don't like satellite, yada yada. I'm like, yo, you are watching satellite.
Come on, man. all this shit is never under one. Yeah. It's just you got two different entities running the business.
Yeah, basically. And nobody recognizes the fact that when it comes to DirecTV, you have your personal line of sight when it comes to the satellite at your house, but when it comes to Comcast, you're sharing a network with everybody else on that tab.
Think about it. That's why you got the Xfinity hotspot. Yeah. I can log in right now on my phone on a hotspot and be at your house, and just because you got Xfinity, I'm connected.
Yeah.
Make it make sense, y'all. 1 + 1 is 2. Come on now, and giving your game out here.
That's the shit you learn when you out here as a field tech, man. But it's fun You know, because you get I'm not the type that can sit down in an office. Because I'm going to go to sleep at that computer.
Boy, or I'm going to do something I ain't supposed to do.
Yeah. I tried that plenty of times. I tried that with Fleet Bank when I used to work for them, but that wasn't my move, man. But yeah, this electrical thing is something, man. And right now it's a game of politics with that too. You know, everything we do out here is a politic backup game for all this shit. So you know, you gotta really be able to get out here and work, get to know the right people, move in different companies the right way, or you know, it's either that or you're gonna go with the what do you call it, the IBW, the local union.
Yep.
Yeah. So you know, I haven't done that yet because you know, I know that once you're in a union, you get stuck at a certain pay grade until.
Yep. And location now.
That too.
That be the main thing. You might get the pay you want, but you gotta travel this amount of time.
That's right.
Now it takes away from your creativity to doing what you really want to do.
That's right.
Same here, bro. I try to do the same thing. And we had one downtown originally, then they moved it up to North Atlanta, to where that became an issue because if it's downtown, I can get to it quick. If I leave class, I go do this over here, go do this over here. But anybody that's in Atlanta, you know how traffic is.
Oh, yeah.
Once you up top, it's gonna take about an hour and a half to 2 hours to get back down south, even if you know the back roads.
Especially if it's around 3, 4 o'clock, it's a done
Ooh,
deal.
boy, let me tell you.
6 is a done.
Boy, don't call me. It better be a 911 emergency. 911 still might beat me up. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you this: like when you was going through that transition, was entertainment already in your mindset, or did that come like later on after?
I have been rapping since I was 12 years old.
Okay.
I was in a group first, and I broke away from that, and just kept doing my own thing since then. I didn't take it serious to actually record music. Well, I did when I was younger. We recorded like 2 songs, me and a homeboy of mine. But I didn't take it serious until like maybe, I want to say about 18 is when I decided I was going to start really recording songs. And so I would go back and forth from Jersey to New York and just record music and trying to put some stuff out. It was good. It was just, I wasn't making music for everybody. I was making it for myself, you know, which it worked for me because, you know, I never really had an issue with nobody saying anything wrong with my music. It's just, I think I was a little ahead of time when it came to my music.
Gotcha.
I feel like when I was doing my music, you know, I went back up. I moved from Jersey when I was younger, around 13, 14, to Florida. When I got to Florida,
that was a culture change.
Yeah. So I went from Nas, Wu-Tang at the time, Black Moon, Biggie to you know, 69 Boys, so many Strizzo. It's a whole bunch of people that's in Tampa, Florida that I can name. You know, Level 2, Deuce, all that stuff that gave me a different sense of what music was. So when I moved from Florida to go back up to Jersey, I was doing not just like tongue twisting or whatever, but my sound, my beats was different.
You was ahead of your time.
Yeah, and they didn't understand. Like, so I was doing shit that Juvenile was getting ready to do in 2000, and they was behind me. So I had them looking at me like, I don't know, you know.
And see, no, I was just about to ask you too, like coming from up top, cause down south, you know, growing up, it's always been this imaginary. I'm gonna use the term distance, not war, because people like put that war in. We ain't never had no war, but it's been that distance and separation from the north and the south, and the south being accepted in the north, even though the north is always accepted in the south. Do you feel like that also played a part in the sense of, like you said, you was able not only to have what y'all was doing, but now you got a little bit of south mixed in too.
It did play a part because they didn't understand why I was rapping northern and had a little Southern in me on South beats. You know what I mean? Like it was, but then I could jump on a beat made from Swiss or Timbaland or anybody like that, Primo beat, and still be good. It's just that I'm on their beat now and I'm sounding a little Southern. You know what I'm saying? So it was a thing where they was like, what the fuck is he doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, but they was on it. They was fucking with it. It just, I always been as you see, I'm the only dude with me. I work around a lot of women. I've been like that. You know what I mean? I always been like that. I had all my homeboys, are all street niggas. They ain't into this whole holding microphones and going to shows and shit. So I've been the type that, and because I moved from Jersey to Florida, to North Carolina, and all over the place, I've gained a lot of street homies. So I haven't been able to play in the streets like they have. Exactly. Do your thing, stay out of here. We got this.
Now that's respect right there.
Yeah. So when it came to my music, I just feel like people were more like, okay, he by himself. Who's believing in him? You know what I mean? But they still was rocking with the music. I just couldn't push it the way I wanted to because of at that time when it comes to pushing music, it's a deal where you got to look like you got a squad with you. You know what I mean? You need thousands.
Perception.
Yeah, it's a perception. I was up there, not talking. I'm not talking about drugs. I'm not talking about money. I'm rapping. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this and not cut you off because, like you said, especially being in Atlanta, we face damn near the same conflict. But how? Because you said something. That's why I said respect. When you was like, your homies was like, look, stay over there. Yeah. We got this right here. Yeah. How was that when it comes to you wanting to move up and you got the army behind you, but this army can't be seen?
Yeah, it feel like there's no support. It feel like there's no support. But because the thing for me was I would record music, send it to them so they can hear it, and they'll listen to it, be like, yo, this is dope. Hey, look, I got a show coming up. Y'all come out. I can't leave the hood. You know what I'm saying? I got stuff going on in the hood. I don't know. I'm a C. So shit. But even before that, like I said, before I was really taking things serious with my music, I would like literally get up. I mean, I'm 16, 15, whatever. I would get up and jump on a Greyhound and go wherever the hell ever. And I'm like, yo, y'all come. I'll say, yo, which one? But it's just like now. When you get your homeboys together, you like, yo, we all gonna go to Mexico or something. And by the time the date come up, it's only 2 of y'all going.
Boy, you took word right up on you done called them a whole year in advance. Look, we gonna do this now. Yeah. And the day of, like you said, it be 2, 1, sometimes maybe nobody.
Nobody, just you by yourself. And that's how I rolled all the time. It's been me by myself. So I never really felt like I needed, a bunch of niggas on the stage or in the studio with me. I always felt comfortable by myself. When I have gone in the studio with artists, I've been good just going in there and just being able to flex my lyrical, my pen. Okay. Because it's to the point where everybody got a lot of people have to smoke and drink and stuff like that, and I never had to. Just the beat itself would get me on cloud 9, and I'm ready to go. So I got to that point, and then at some point I was just like, you know what? My son is here. I gotta take care of him. Here come the electrical guy. You know what I mean? As I'm trying to get that done, I moved here to Atlanta. So I went from Jersey to Florida, Florida to North Carolina, from North Carolina to Jersey, from Jersey to Atlanta. Okay. So got here, brought my son here so he can go to school. So he didn't have to go through the street shit I had to go through. And just been, at some point I said, you know what, I want to do the music still, but I'm not inspired. When I say inspired, I'm talking about like, there's no music that's making me say, yo, I know I gotta write to this, so I'm like, you know what, but I do hear some dope stuff out there, and I got to the point where even like artists like XXXTentacion and Trippie Redd and even Playboy Cardi. I didn't really care for them because I heard all the yelling that they was doing.
Same here.
And I got, I'm like, I don't want to hear that, But at one point, I get in the car, man, and my son is playing like this dude just rapping, like he's rapping. I'm hearing it. I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, that's X. I'm like, X who? He's like, XX Extensio. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, play me another one of that. He got another one like that. He played another one. He had like 4 tracks. I'm like, yo, where's these? Yeah. Yep. So when I started the radio station, my ideal of what I wanted to target was old niggas like myself that didn't care for these young niggas rapping and screaming and shit on the song because all we hear is the stuff that's on the radio.
Exactly. We're not actually listening to the album like we used to. Remember how we were growing up, I knew Ja Rule, for example, shout out Ja and the whole murder. You would listen to Put It On Me.
Right.
You would listen to Down Ass Chick. But you would have to go back and really listen to Ja 316 to know the boy was cold. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And back then, we didn't have social media like this, so you heard that one song. They could push or market that 1 or 2 songs and it make everybody go buy the whole album. Look at Lil Bow Wow. Bow Wow pushed with his first album, and it's like about 4 or 5 platinum records on that one album. But how it played in the radio to us, you would have thought he had 4 or 5 different albums out, but it's one album.
One album, And it's, that's just the way that the industry played with us as consumers.
True.
The ideal back then was you play a song on the radio 30 million times, and back then as well, we had more artists. There was a big ass gumbo pot of artists that we could listen to that had different styles.
That was dope as hell.
So you could listen to somebody and hear a song or two and be like, I'm gonna go check the album out. And the only way to check the album out was actually buy it or go to your homeboy house and dub it off of him, know? But now it's like, you get a lot of artists that sound alike and they're all doing the same thing. The beats are sounding the same. So the streams, I guess, is the better move because, and I don't even know about streaming because I'm not streaming much. I do hit Apple a lot, but iTunes and shit like that. But I'm only on when I go on iTunes, I'm searching songs that I already know, and I'm making playlists. So I decided, back to the radio station, I said, you know what? I'm gonna make my own playlist on my own radio station, and people gonna fuck with it because what I did was I didn't only try to bridge the gap between us and these young cats and trying to understand what else they got as far as talent. I also said I want to bring R&B back. You know what I mean? I want
real R&B.
Yeah. I wanna put the Quiet Storms back.
Ooh, trust the tale with that one now. Come on, man.
So I'm trying to find a way for artists that are not known to be able to be heard next to the Nas's, next to the UGKs, next to the Playboy Cardis and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely, that's why I created the radio station, man. And but prior to that, man, I wasn't even thinking about the radio station or that. If it was, shout out to my homeboy Kim, man. Kim is like my partner when he owns 7 Spring Studios.
Okay.
And I met him through another homie of mine named Craig. He basically called me and said, yo, I know somebody that they need help with their studio. They want to record artists. They only been doing like podcasting and stuff, but they want to record an artist. Can you teach them how to record? And I was like, I bet. And I went over there, seen the setup. The whole studio set up like an actual radio station. Yeah,
that's dope. So he already had everything in motion. He just didn't have the right tool in place to keep everything going.
Right. Well, he was going through something too health-wise, and he decided to fall back from it, so he just didn't touch it for a while. But when he wanted to go and record artists, I get in there and I'm like, how about this? I'll show you how to that. You just show me how to do this part, right?
Thanks.
Man, and I apologize because he showed me how to do that, and I've just been doing that. We ain't never get back to it. For real, because it's just been dope. It's just been dope being in there and experience. And so I didn't know I would like talking to other artists and actors and filmmakers. Man, I talk to everybody, man. The lawnmower man, I talk to everybody. Anybody that had a day that's living, you know what I mean? I talk to them and I get the experience from them, and we just sit and chop it up, man. And I ended up, my personal show, The Weekend Bullshit Report. I ended up at first with 2 co-hosts. Shout out to Urban Chick. I'm not gonna name the other dude because that was a wild situation, man.
They never fall.
Yeah, but my 2 new co-hosts, OG Just and Miss E, they've been there with me, and they see me out here hustling. So I really, the reason why I met you is because I decided, you know what, I can't play the studio. I gotta go outside. I gotta bring DLE Radio outside. I'm too busy trying to, the social media, I'm trying to bring them in. I said, I gotta get out there. Yeah. Now, and I will say that it took me a minute to get outside, but I got outside and I started, putting up the banner, going and doing some of these shows and doing coverage for them, and I'm starting to realize now they really fucking with me now, because I'll get the footage from the event, edit that bitch, and have these people looking good. So that's what it's coming out to be. DLE Radio is where people want to promote themselves at, and also you want to have some ties with DLE Radio. We the hottest shit moving right now when it comes to the radio shit. Regular radio, FM ain't doing what we do. I'm gonna talk my shit for a quick second.
Nah, do you, bro? Do you?
So regular radio, like FM radio, is FM. But they can't reach but so far. They can't go no further than a certain amount of cities in in Georgia, or even my New York stations. They can't go. I can't hear them unless I'm on an app. But see, when it comes to, but you don't know who Hot 90. You heard of Hot 97, other rappers. But you ain't going and looking for Hot 97 and listening to it.
Nope.
I got listeners in the UK. I got listeners in Canada, Florida, California, Texas. I mean, of course, New York, of course, Jersey, of course, Atlanta, and of course, in the South. But
it allows you to go worldwide.
Yeah,
instead of being
man.
stuck in that one
yeah,
region.
I done did the shit that these radio stations can't do. So what I try to provide for artists and businesses as well is to be able to get known by promoting and advertising with the station and putting their songs on the radio station. So I'm trying to provide something for them so they can say, you know what, I can be heard, man. I don't have to play the politic game with the radio stations and the record labels. You want to stream your songs and you just only want to put your stuff up for streaming purposes, that's fine. But guess what? Somebody got to find your shit. They need to know how to find you. Come to DLE Radio. So that's what I do, man. That's what I've been doing, just backing them up. I'm getting ready to start doing this filming stuff too with DLE TV. But right now, I'm perfecting this DLE Radio thing, man. So getting out here networking and talking to the right people. Meeting you guys, was dope. I met some people that does clothing lines, and I feel like sometimes I think the people that I met, they got too big-headed too quick. You know what I'm saying? Because I met them a couple, like maybe 3-4 years ago. I haven't seen them.
I was just about to say that it be like that. Or they'll come off at you being Hollywood like they already got it like that, and you're not there yet.
Yeah,
like you can get there. I believe you got the potential, but you're not there.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's almost like being an artist and you go to different DJs and you try to act like you the tough guy. Oh, I ain't paying you shit. I'm fire already. I'm already hot. Well, if you hot already, why the fuck is you coming to me? I should be coming to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned that from Tip. Tip said that a while back when, artists were saying videos and music. He was like, look, it's my job to come to you if you hot. You ain't got to come to me. And just like you just said, especially when it comes to streaming, It's a million songs being dropped every day, whether you a rapper, R&B, pop, rock, whatever the case may be. But what are you doing to get yourself out there? And you know, the people what you said to it, being outside, like shout my dog the Real D's and shout my dog Young Luna. You know, these are coming up in the music. I was like you. I was trying to study the analytics. I was trying to figure out, okay, well, I got the brains up here. Let me apply this brain to the monopoly board of the industry and see how it can fit me. Right. And you can learn a lot. You can learn the business side, right. But you still got to go outside. And my boy Luna, you know, we linked up. He was like, yo, KT, like, I see what you're doing. Everything dope, but you got to go outside. And I was like, man, I ain't trying to go do no shows, bro. I ain't trying to do this. But then, you know, me working with Love for Crew, shout out Love for Crew, Jay, you know what I'm saying, the whole family. Right. You know, they broke that comfort level for me. Because I was so used to just, if it ain't on the south side, I'm not going. Yeah. If it ain't somebody I know personally, I'm not going. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When I met you, Big Bro Carl, we had both seen it. And I was like, well, bro, you know, I'm down for whatever. You just let me know how you want to move, because I'm a team player. You know what I'm saying? Same if you hit me up and say, yo, I got some events going on. All right, bet, shit. Let me know what time. If you down for it, I'm going. But even if you send me the info and you not go, then I'm not going, because I'm a team. You see what I'm saying? So when we pulled up, and once everything got set up and got to rocking, and, you know, we just started moving around, it's really, like you said, you can still be there for business, but you still got to put yourself out there, you know? And when people come to me, they be like, well, bro, why you didn't tell me you do music? Because I don't want you to know me as a rapper. I want me being a rapper to be the last damn thing you know about. So when you do find out, you're like, damn. What Cat Williams say? Damn, he brought dick too? I got it all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I come as a whole package, but, you know, even when it comes back to, you know, independent artists, like people ask me, especially out of town people, what's the hottest song on the radio? I don't listen to the radio. I can't tell you right now, like, and I'm not knocking, like how you were saying with the other artists, you know, that you were mentioning. We don't hear them on Atlanta radio. Now, if we go to Day City, I'm pretty sure they the number one spinning back to back. But if you're not in that city or in that demographic where they're being played the most, you're not going to hear it at all. You know, and the one thing they used to give me, I'm like, damn, okay, well, I never heard of y'all in Atlanta. But how the fuck are y'all number one on the Billboard if we ain't in here, you here? But it goes back to being outside, having a team, and not necessarily a team that's money hungry or they already got celebrity status. No, it can just be a team that truly believes in you and want to see you win. You never know who's related to who can put your music or your business in somebody's hand, and that call can change your life for the rest of your life.
No, I met Outkast in Jersey. They was coming to open up for Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
And that was like, I want to say 99, 2000, somewhere around that area. But I was already a big fan of theirs. And I'm working at JCPenney. And I met their manager, Angela Redden. He walked through with an Outkast leather jacket on, they had the Lettermans on or whatever. Walked through, I started talking, I'm like, yo, where you get the jacket at? We just politicking. Next thing you know, they giving me tickets to go to their show. And then he like, yo, Outkast right across the street. My cousin is at the hotel. My cousin was working at the hotel. And I called him like, yo, I'm about to come over there. I'm gonna let you know I'm coming over there. But before I even get over there, Angelo hit me like, yo, come here. I get over there, you know, and they was good people, man. So I say that because they was outside. They if you look at a lot of their credits, they was here, but they was in Jersey a lot.
Exactly. Their credit came more than just a month.
I mean, they did music with Will. They did music with a lot of people I know. But you know, back then too, and I should have answered this one thing that you said or added along to it. I remember a time where Southern artists would rap on Northern beats because they wanted to be heard.
Yep.
You know, and it got to that point to where it was a thing where it was like, you know what? In order to have a dope song, you got to be on a song with somebody from up north or even with the Northerners, once the South started really rocking, yo, find somebody from down south to jump on the beat with.
Yep.
You know, so as of right now, I love the fact of where hip hop stands when it comes to the music, man, because it shows that it can evolve and grow, and anybody can snatch it up and be the caretaker at the moment. Like Cali had it for a good minute, the West Coast had it for a good minute. Could nobody break their little bond they had with hip hop, and now that I can't even say the South, Atlanta got the game in a grip, and I say that because you could hear the influence in the music in Chicago. You could hear Atlanta's influence in Jersey, in New York. Like there's artists out there that are doing the same thing. When I heard Fetty Wap, I thought he was from here.
Yeah. Everybody did.
I thought he was from here.
Everybody did. Then we found out where he was from. He was like, hold on,
Yeah.
he from Jersey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he, like you said, he tied in with people here. And that goes into what you were saying too. Like, when you tried to bring that down south, mix with that up north, it was ahead of its time. You look now, that's the new way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially like when you just said Chicago, like, I did it's on my Instagram page. Vaughn got like maybe a couple of tracks out there that got open hooks, open verses on it. So, you know, right, unfortunately after this passed, I was like, you know what? How can I tap in with a Chicago fan base even though I'm not from Chicago? You know, one of my artists from Chicago, I don't want him to be that crutch that say, oh, I fuck with him, so this is why I can do this. Nah, what can I do? Because like you said, up north and down south, it's pretty much tic-tac-toe. You're gonna hit the X or you're gonna hit the O. Yeah. It ain't hard. But when you talking about Chicago, that has its own entity and its own identity, you gotta move correct with it because there's so much politics that goes on with just being from Chicago. You can think you're doing the right thing and put yourself in a bad situation. And you know, when I did like 2 of his tracks and I started playing around with it. One of them I put 2 verses on it. The other one I just put the end because he already had the first verse on it. And I was like, okay, I can come off Atlanta, which I'm gonna do that anyway because it's me. But at the same time, I gotta be able to like add on to what he's already doing. So I started going back, re-listening to his verse again. Like, okay, let me figure out. Okay, let me add this in. Let me slow down how I'm rapping. Let me add this punchline in. Let me add this ad lib in.
Compliment his shit.
Exactly. To where it's like just like when you listen to my project, you probably gonna think this crazy. But I ain't wrote no music in 3 years.
So I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna ask you this because I know for sure that you was freestyling in that on that joint. The very first 5 joints, I said he freestyling.
The whole album I did.
I didn't get past the 5th. I probably got like 6 songs in, and I was like, he's freestyling. I knew it. I was like, I could tell because the way you would, like the last word, you'll find the next bar to rhyme and everything and to connect with it. I heard a lot of stuff. I heard the joint when you was talking about baby moms and everything.
Yup.
So you know, I caught on. I say, you know what? Just like Snoop, I don't know what niggas are thinking. You believe that whole first album he did, he freestyled that first album. Yeah. You can tell, like, you know when somebody, and the crazy thing is, that's when people love it the most. They don't even recognize it, but we love when people are having fun behind that mic. So when I heard your shit, I was like, yeah, he having fun on there. He's freestyling. I heard it, and I thought it was so dope how each song you changed, and that's the other thing. None of the songs was on the same topic as the last one.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? So I feel like when you're doing music, that's how you gotta be, and it gotta be for you. It ain't gotta be for nobody else because that's why they gonna fuck with you. I tell people this all the time. Even DJs, I tell them, they be like, yo, so what you think I should play? Play whatever the fuck you want to play. Do it how you want to do it. Just make sure you put your personality over the over talk, like you got to, because they want to hear who you are, and they're gonna fuck with you because of the music you play.
Facts.
You know how many people don't like Funk Flex?
Man.
I hate this nigga.
Why?
I ain't gonna say I hate him, but he get on my nerves.
He on my nerves.
He don't know how to let music play. It could be a dope ass song.
And he gonna talk to it.
He gonna cut the song off. He gotta put his drops in it. Yeah, his bombs or the go flags, and it be at the worst fucking time. Like when you finally getting into this new song. He'll cut the shit off, but guess what? A lot of people still listen to this motherfucker. But they listen to him because Flex doing that made songs happen. I don't care what nobody says.
You want to know why? Because it made you go back and listen to the whole thing. Because he don't keep cutting it off now. Now I got to hear it without him. Let me go listen to it without this.
Yeah. So as much as I don't like Flex for doing shit like that and talking so much, he actually made songs harder. He made you go and listen to it, and then you're like, okay, now I can appreciate this shit. Flex and talked all over this motherfucker. Cut the shit off, like, because it used to be like, he'll play the first hook, then the verse will come on. So then you just getting into the motherfucking song, and he cut the shit off. You're like, damn. But that's why people fuck with Flex. It's like the reason why people fuck with Clue. We already know it. Rest in peace, K Slave. We knew why everybody fucked with K Slave. He was for the streets. He allowed the niggas in the street to be heard. You know what I mean? And there's so many other DJs. You know, DJ Drama. You know, and
especially that Candy. Everybody, every rapper, if you from our area, every rapper done rapped over that Candy. At least more than 10 times before they actually recorded it. Unless they wrote it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't knocking if you wrote the music, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, just to add what you were saying too with the pad and the pen, I can't even show you, bro. I still got all my raps from the time I started rapping in 2005 all the way to 2020 when I really just stopped writing and just going with what's on my heart. You know what I'm saying? And I still got music I've never recorded. Done rapped over, like, I'm from the MySpace day. I tell people that all the time. You can www.myspace.com/KT2553. I still got 4 million plays on there, but I had no knowledge of the business. My mixing back then was terrible, but I was working off of a demo version of M Audio Producer Session before they merged with Pro Tools. See, now y'all get the Pro Tools demo. Now they giving the Pro Tools out monthly. This is way before they ever merged.
Back in the cakewalk days.
Like, bro, we only had 4 plugins. That's it. 4 plugins. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when it come down to like, and I appreciate you giving me the flowers with the project too, because like what I do, and I tell artists all the time, they be like, bro, let's go to the studio together. Nah, just send me the track, bro. Cause I literally, once everybody leave, have my mic just how I got it right here, have it up a little high, come standing up, take my AirPods, sync them up to the computer, and the moment I put that beat on, I'm not even listening to the beat when you sing. I'm gonna plug it in on Logic, press that record, and I'm gonna go from there. Because a lot of times you ever know when you freestyling or you first hit, you come up with the finest shit the first time, and after that, you done fucked up because you don't remember.
See, I'm from the era of we had to be in the studio, a pre-production studio, where the producer is creating the beat right then and there, and start from scratch. I'm writing. Start from the kick and the hi-hat, and then the snare. Well, there's a kick and the snare. Once the hi-hats come in, you already got the melody in. I already got my first verse down. We ain't even finished the full entire beat, but by the time I got my first verse and I'm writing my hook, he's engineering the hook in. You know what I mean?
But notice what you said, not to cut you off. The producer is cooking fresh. See, that's, and I ain't gonna lie, that's really why I stopped writing, because people are sending you beats all day, and I'm like, okay, well, who else you send this beat to? And if you done wrote some of your hardest shit ever, just to turn, and I had this shit happen to me, 2011. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Future. And shout out to Twin Beatmaker, because he was on SoundClick. That was the website we used to use for a minute too to get the beats. Man, I wrote a fire-ass song, bro. First verse, second verse, look, third verse, overhead, the whole producer session, everything. It's way before I even had Pro Tools, but my mans had Pro Tools. Shout out my dog, Scott Taylor, Scott Engineer, you know what I'm saying? He did Jeezy album, did the producer behind it. Shout out to him. But this was during his early days, right? So, me and my homies in the car, and that beat come on. So I said, oh shit, that's my song. So bro, we all in the car like, oh, bro, we got to turn up, but we done made it. And it's Future and another girl, and I ain't saying another girl like this girl, I just don't remember her name. But they had a record on the same damn beat. And we all in the car looking at each other, and they're like, bro, how they stole your song? How they steal it? Then that's when I started learning business. Because I said, hold on, they didn't steal my song. I I never bought the beat.
Yeah.
It was a download on SoundClick, download the beat, Spill with his drop on it, and I went from there. Now, granted, I had never dropped the song publicly at that time.
Right.
So then when the song hit the radio, I said, okay, well, thinking marketing-wise, I'm going to wait and see how long the song spin on the radio.
Right.
Now, granted, I never heard that song again. It's not even on his discography on one of his main, songs. And I ain't saying it to discredit Shorty, but at the same time, it could have been the same thing, business. Because guess what? I did the song off of it being free. She probably did the song with him off of it being a lease. And then you turn around and bought the beat.
There you go.
Now me and her are fucked because we don't know who owned the beat no more.
There you go. And that's something that has happened even at a fresh cook-up. I done sat there and wrote some shit. Shout out to QC, because your ass, you the one, yo, because my producer, man, that's my dog, man. That's my boy, but he would sit there and we made tons of, and the problem was, I was doing this for free. He was producing the beats and giving them to me for free, because he had no choice. I was like, by the time they was done, I already had a song to it.
Oh yeah, that's
we
dope.
recording that shit right now. We record that shit, and he loved it. I loved it. People coming in and out was like, "What the fuck is that?"
So why not?
Yeah, but the problem is, then you got people that he mess with that's in the industry. Yo, I pay you for this beat.
Oh.
He's like, shit, man. It ain't too many times that he came to me and called me and said, yo, Skills, yo, I got this beat that, the beat that you did, yeah, man, this dude wanted, man. He wanted for like this amount of money. And by all means, me and him signed no papers.
True.
Do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah.
Now me and him never had that conversation where I could say, yo, do what you gotta do, or
It was just one of what's understood that gotta be explained.
Now a lot of times it did bother me a few times because, I knew the other nigga's song wasn't better than mine, but it got to the point where I was like helping him create a sound for someone else. You know what I mean? Because his original, he's from Ghana.
Okay.
Africa. So like his beats had like a lot of African tribal stuff in it. So he was doing that Afro beats.
Okay.
Years, like
Way before the time.
We was really ahead of this shit, man. And he'll tell you, like, if I called him right now, he'll be like, yo, I wish I would have just stuck on that. Just got on that wave he was on. Because I went back up there. You ever heard of a song called You Need Dig in Your Life? Come on, you need dig in your life. This is like, you need some dig. You need some dig.
I need that record right now. What is it? Somebody said that.
Yeah, it's from it's Tin Cans and some shit.
Uh-huh.
But it's the song that was very big down in Florida.
Okay.
And if I'm gonna say Florida, I know in Tampa it was very big. But that's not even the original beat. But it's a beat. It's kind of like it got the like cowbells in it.
Okay.
I took that beat just stood with me, and when I went back to Jersey, everything I was making almost had that beat in it, and they was just like, "Yo, why you keep making this damn beat?" Because once I seen him make, I would look over his shoulder, watch you doing your thing, and I would learn how to do it myself. So I started making my own beats, and I started rapping on them, and they was like, "Yo, that's different." They was like, "Yo, this nigga really, went down south and really got southern on it." But I'm rapping kind of like Jay and other artists, but I had a flow with it. So what ended up happening was they didn't see it coming, and next thing you know, here come Juvenile, and everybody else came. It was like, yo, this nigga, yo, Skills was really ahead of this shit. Why we wasn't listening to this nigga?
Yeah.
So I love how music is, man, because like you were saying, the business part, I wish we did what we were supposed to do. I had one time had a meeting. I personally was supposed to have a meeting with Elaine Lee and Dino Rivera up at Universal.
Okay.
Before Universal was, I think they just signed Cash Money.
That was right when they was still looking to build right there. They had all that capital to put behind whoever needed to be pushed at the time.
And I had there was a website, Music Something. And I paid for these papers, all those executives, their numbers and everything. And I was calling everybody like,
that's throwback.
Yeah.
I remember that, brother. Like you said, you couldn't just go in there and get the numbers. You had to pay. And they gave you the A&R. That's how people start learning what an A&R is and all that in the third.
I was calling these motherfuckers, annoying them, and I got Dino Rivera first.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you know what? Let me speak to Elaine Lee and see if we, because I was like, yo, bro, I need to just come up there and talk to you. All I need is 5 minutes. And he got Elaine Lee on the phone. It was somebody else, but that person left like a week later and went to J Records.
Okay.
And I was this close to being signed, bro. This close to being signed. But not having the right paperwork with me, my producer, who was acting as my manager at the time, he went up there to the meeting for me because I had to work. I just had my son.
Okay.
I couldn't leave work. I just got the job. And,
help was needed.
Yeah,
I understand.
And they went up there, and from my understanding, it was a deal where if they wanted to work with me, what Dino said to me was, when Elaine sat down with them, they was like, yo, we like the music, but we want to put other producers on it. And the word was, your producer said, well, I have to do 50% of the album. And they was like, well, we can't do this with you then. And it was like, we won't work. And I'm sitting there like, what? I was like, yo, no, let's work this out. We can figure this. That was it. So I was like, damn. So I was disappointed, but at the same time, like, you know what? It wasn't meant for me. You know what I mean? And that's how I be looking at things. Like, and when shit is not meant, when shit don't work out in your favor, it just wasn't meant. I don't think God allowed you to get hyped up about something and take it away from you because you did something wrong. I think it just wasn't meant for you to be in that situation.
Exactly. And then, not only that, like, I'm glad you brought that part of the producer and, the percentage because, Southside, he had just did a video basically explaining kind of like not the exact same thing, but learning that there's other funds that could be made even after you sell the beat when us artists go on stage. Sound, what is
sound scan.
Yeah, that right there, which I never knew about until I watched him saying. So it's like, from the average outside, they get, oh man, your man's backdoored you. No, he didn't. No. It's a business, and you gotta understand if that man sat here and did the whole project, which is what allowed them to even listen to you, and now they coming in saying, hey, we don't even want you. Right. We just want him. Now it's cool you throw 1 or 2 on there, but we want him. Then how you think that make the producer feel, especially if he never charged for beats, never charged for stuff. All this investment, it's just like a business. You sit here and you invest in someone, or we'll use me for example. If you sit here and invest in my next project, and I turn around and say, hey bro, so and so want to sign me, but they just only want me. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to, they give you credit, but they only take 1 or 2 of your songs, and they're probably about 100 damn songs.
You gonna get like 1.5 point on the album or something. You'd be like, well, 1.5 point is good actually.
Depending on what the band is. Depending on what that number is.
But when I was younger and that first happened, I was going with my ignorant ear, and I didn't care for the idea that he even said anything about what he wanted to do on the album. Because for me, I was like, bro, all we needed to do was get our leg in that fucking door. I had the foot in the door. As long as if I would have got my leg in the door, I would have pulled the whole body in, and we all would have went in at the same time. No, you ain't work on this one, but I would have made sure that the next artist we brought in on our record label, you could have did that, But I started thinking of how you just put it, like you got to think about, things as a business. I mean, we did tons of music free, and people really was fucking with us. And then I was performing. I was out there going like crazy.
And then look at how they would have made his credit go. You get on, you get signed, he gets no credit. Now everybody think they come in the same time.
And then what if what if Scales get a big head, or he get too, out there. Now I can't even reach him no more. I'm fucked, because now here come managers, here come
P&Rs and everybody else. They speaking for you.
Yeah, and I ain't even telling them I can't talk to them. It's just I'm doing so much shit. I get caught up like that now.
Yeah.
To where I can't. I got family members that ain't seen me in a while because I have been so busy with this radio station. So I get it, man. But
But you know what's good about that though? Even though, unfortunately, it is one of the L's we take is time, because you can't get that back, and time is equal to currency. But when you're working, like I just told one of my other artists I used to work with, I was like, yo, bro, the reason you got so much free time is because you got applying yourself. You start applying yourself, you start getting an environment with like-minded individuals. Everybody that's normally around you just kicking it, they gonna start falling off because you're too busy to entertain stuff that's not putting you in position to keep your dreams going, keep your vision going. And with that, I definitely want to know this right here, because I went through this, unfortunately, too many times, and this ain't me taking no shots at nobody. But when you was mentioning the podcast, and you had to go from one team to rebrand it and have another team that's a little more, I'm using the term, effective than what the other team was, what were the challenges as the head that you faced accepting the outcome? Because of course, when people don't realize, and this is why I get upset when I see rappers or managers go at each other and stuff like that, because what stays in the house supposed to stay in the house. You don't put it out there for the public to know. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point now it makes it look like, well, what happened if I come work with you and something like that happened, or another situation happened, you gonna blast me. So that's why I asked, when you was going through that and you had to swallow that pill, because people don't realize, when you work with different people that started with you, whether it's from nothing, or you was using their equipment and now you got your own setup, and they decide to go their own ways, or you guys have to partner for whatever reason, as the head, that shit hurt. Because you're supposed to be somebody that I dream to climb up this ladder with me. You see what I'm saying? And then I'm even cool if you say, hey, I gotta go handle this, I'ma still support. But when it ends on bad terms, or terms that is not an agreement that we can still move forward and speak to each other tomorrow, that shit hurt.
Yeah, well, it did. In this situation, it did. It didn't hurt because I realized I was doing too much to help somebody out. I met this young dude, and at the time I met him, I think I was driving for Uber and Lyft at the time. And he was going through a divorce or some shit, But I don't even know if that was true, with all the lies that I heard. But it was supposed to be a comedian, a cook, all this other shit. And when I spoke to my partner about doing the podcast, I said, you know what? I just met somebody too. Dude seemed like he could use, he could use a little, another avenue to do something different. So, I reached out to him, and at first I understood, because I reached out to him like, yo, we should hang, come kick it with me, man. We gonna go do this, but you're not knowing we is in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, a man calling you and saying, come out.
It can come off a little weird, a little suspect, like, Roger met you, what's up?
So, after a while, I was like, wait, let me just tell this motherfucker what I'm talking about. Yo, listen, I got a studio that I'm working out of, I got this podcast I'm gonna do, and you should come do, be the co-host, whatever. He reached back out to me, I guess.
He reached out,
and he was like, hey, let me see what you're talking about. So, he was down from day one. The problem I had with old boy was, I had two different occasions where some guests told me that, he was kind of like hitting on them, And for me, I feel like it's business. When somebody come in and they sit down with us and we have a conversation, it's business now. You know, if it goes further than that, it needs to be on both sides, on both ends. But I reached out to somebody and I say, yo, you know, I'm gonna do, it's been a year now, so I want to bring everybody back and just kind of have a recap on y'all lives and what's been going on, you know. And they told me, nah, I don't want nothing to do with DLE Radio because of this particular person. And then called the person my business partner. He wasn't, you know. But
because at that point now it's tarnishing the business and yourself because they're attaching that individual to you.
And then on top of that, I remember the very first. And there's some. Now you explain. You maybe I was looking at it wrong.
Okay.
The conversation was, yo, we gonna go half on everything because he was gonna be a business partner. Like, we're gonna go half on everything. I'm gonna get the logo done. Blah blah blah. You go ahead and start the social media part up. You already got the studio part. We're gonna do this halfway. I said, I bet. So I'm gonna go ahead and get us a subscription to be broadcasting on a radio station, on a platform. Okay, bet. So we're gonna go half with that. So I tally everything up. Tell a man to tally the total. Alright, cool. One day after interviewing a group of people, we all go out real quick. I didn't even want to go out. Yo, come on, let's go out. I was like, I bet. I ain't even had a bread at the time. So, because I'm dealing with personal shit. So I go out to just go eat and have drinks or whatever. I didn't even buy no food, bro. The man he was like, I got you. Man brought a basket of wings. It had to be like 10 or 16 wings in there. And bought a beer or whatever. I was like, yo, just give me water. You know when you broke, you don't want nothing.
Well, I'm the same way, man. My pockets can't take.
I don't want shit, fam. I don't even want these wings, to be honest, man.
And just in case you ain't got it, I know I ain't got it.
Word up. So the funny thing was, even saying that he got me, he only brought those wings and had the wings for himself. So what he ended up doing was, he's like, yo, grab some wings, man, off his plate. I'm like, grab wings. I'm like, nah, I'm good, man, I'm good, you know. Yo, you want a drink, man? You got some. Nah, man, I'm good. This is different. This is something different. This is different now. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. I grabbed a couple of wings. I had like 3 wings, right? We getting ready. The bill comes. 3 wings off this man. 12 wing plate. The bill comes. He pays for it. He was like, all right, yo. I'll put that towards what I owe you for the business.
No.
When he did that, and the type of person I am, I'm always gonna be this person. So if anybody ever meet me out there, you gonna know. I'm never the person to be like. I'm not sticking out my chest. I'm not a follower. I'm more of a. If you got some kind of word or suggestions, I'll listen. But I'm gonna make the decision myself on whether I'm gonna do it or not.
Thanks.
And when it comes to standing on my 2 feet, I do so. But I also do it at the right time. I know how to pick my battles. So I'm not the type that get all hot and be ready to scream. And I ain't even into the altercation shit.
Thanks.
You ain't threatening my life, or especially if you ain't threatening my kid.
Come on.
You know what I mean? You just gotta go out on separate ways. I'm more than likely just gonna let you go about your business without even saying anything to you. And so that's what I did. I gave him a clear path to just do his own thing. And he felt it. He felt it, and started to like bring this energy to the studio. I kept the energy as it should be,
But you felt that other vibe though that was coming at you.
Yeah. So he coming in the studio, and just like his conversation was off. I'm sitting there looking at this nigga like, yo, you good? I done been around a lot of niggas. I know body language and everything. So for me, at some point, I just was like, yo, if something up, man, let me know, man. If you feel like this ain't it for you, let me know. It was like, nah, I'm just going through something, man. I'm supposed to get a haircut, blah, 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 all this other bullshit. I was like, all right, next thing you know, I heard about these 2 situations with 2 of the guests. And I hit them up. I was like, yo, listen, I don't like what's going on. I don't think you need to be over here no more, man. I was like, yo, I could have been doing this. And also, I'm gonna tell you something else that happened. The nigga wanted, when Nipsey died, bro, the night Nipsey died, this nigga wanted to make Nipsey Hussle shirts and put them on a website and sell them. And for me, I was like,
what? That's some clout chasing ass shit.
yeah, I was like, I'm not doing that, and I'm not doing that with DLE Radio. We don't sell clothing.
Hell
no. What you
no.
talking about?
He basically trying to capitalize off that man.
Basically. So I said, nah, that's not happening.
Nah, big no go.
No, I'm just trying to do this and blah blah blah. That's how I supposed to. Nah, well, you do that with some shit you doing. Oh, I could have did this. I was on this TV show. I was like, well, you probably need to get back
on that then.
So ever since then, he had an issue. I ain't give a fuck about it. Let him go about his business. His girl hit me up because his girl was cool with me. But we wasn't cool, but it was okay for her to reach out and be like, yo, that was a dope show. Yo, what's going on around here? It was just questions, nothing disrespectful. And she asked me about, I don't even remember what it was. Oh, she was commenting on something that I posted, and I said something back to her. This nigga hit me up in my inbox, yo, you talking to my girl? And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, right? Yeah, so shit like that, but I couldn't allow somebody like that to stay around me, man. Just from the business
side of it, yeah.
I didn't like how he moved. That I'll be watching how people move, and when I see the slightest inch of flakiness, I just stay on my end.
You know what? It seemed like we damn near we was looking at the same damn mirror and didn't even know it because it was in 2 different households. Because I went through damn near the exact same thing with one of my prior workmates. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had history together. We worked together. We known each other. You know what I'm saying? To whereas I looked at him like family. And once the business started coming together, damn near the same thing. Like, bro, look, let's go half on this. Let's get this. Let's get that. And I'm not going to lie to you. Holmes is phenomenal. I take no credit from him. But I started seeing emotions come about. And when you're dealing with this business and when you're the head of the operation, you see the whole playing field. Offense, defense, sidelines, fans, and everybody in the back that's in the parking lot trying to get inside. You see it. Now, from their standpoint, they may only be one-dimensional or they only see a few views because they're not the head. And when I seen it and I started seeing like you just said, certain vibes change up. Certain conversations. I was like, man, look, bro, I'd rather us stick to being like family and being cool than allowing this business to destroy what we done built over all these years. You know what I'm saying? And it had got to the point where, if he ever decided to go on the platform, I hope he feel free to speak on it. I don't have no problem with it because there ain't no hate in my heart. But from my standpoint, I just felt like he unfortunately allowed the emotions to get in way of the logic. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, bro, everybody could have ate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if this is what I got going on and my name is behind this, you gotta respect the fact that this is my shit.
That's it.
That's all it is. That's just like if I come in your house, you can tell me all day, bro, you welcome here, treat it like home, but at the end of the day, that's your shit. Man. So I have to respect anything that you put down as rules, guidelines, whatever the case may be. I gotta respect it. And like you said, even going forward after that, it was more so, okay, you know what, bro, you do you, I'ma do me. If you feel whatever you feel in your heart, and I tell anybody this that feel like I done did them wrong or made them feel some type of way, prove me wrong by bettering yourself. Don't feel like you gotta, throw shots and all that because that's not gonna make me feel no type of way. That's not gonna make me say, oh man, I'm proud of you, I'm glad. No, I'd rather, if I told you you ain't gonna be shit, show me you the shit now. So I can take my hat off, shake your hands, and apologize like a man because you proved me wrong. You dig what I'm saying? But when you sit there and you add the business, and then damn near kind of like yours, except on the difference was, it was a female that I'm no longer with, but her importance in my life is going to be forever because of what we got together. You know what I'm saying? So if you never made certain gestures towards her before.
Wow.
Why the fuck are you doing it now? You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, you know, we had to do a whole social media going back and forth, but we was able to reconcile the situation at that moment. But now that friendship could never be brought about. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and I reached out recently. I don't know if I'm blocked. I don't know if he just ignored the shit or deleted. But I even reached out and said, man, you know what? I ain't got no hard feelings towards you. I hope everything you got going for yourself is flourishing right now. I want to see nothing but the best for you. Despite what we had going on, it ain't no hate in my heart, bro. Because at the end of the day, you was a great factor to why this show was able to still keep going on. You brought what was necessary to the show. You kept your hands on the social media side when it was necessary. Granted, I may have been asking for more due to the fact that now we're building a fan base that is going to require that. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing from being a local school newspaper to now you a city newspaper.
Right.
It comes with more responsibility.
Right.
What they say, great power come with responsibility. We gotta maintain it. So, you know, that's why I asked that too. And let me ask this. Did you ever have an issue or a concern when it came to female hosts in the sense of, not like on no relationship shit, but just more so because they're more emotional. It's about emotions versus the business.
You know what? I haven't. One issue that me and Urban Chick had is that I knew that she was greater than what she probably thought.
Okay, you seen the potential.
Yeah, because I felt like being on the show was holding her back, and I say that because she knew how to get artists and bring them in and just, I don't know how it was happening. She could just find artists. She was good with the music and it was, I don't know how she did it. But for me, I was like, yo, you need to be a manager.
That's dope.
You need to be a manager.
That's dope.
But it got to a point where I know one thing she probably felt as if I wasn't allowing her to do her thing because she would ask like, well, she wanted to line up. She wanted to line up some artists, right, and bring them in, and I was cool with that. But I already had artists coming in. I got this thing where I could be loyal to the fault, but I also still live by the street code. And if I built a bond with you, or prior, and I say, hey, yeah, come on, you come up to the studio with me. Let's do a show. And the day of you coming up to the show, somebody says, hey, I got another artist that's from Cali and they leaving today, well tomorrow, we need to get them in the studio today, you know, let's do this, blah, 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 blah. Nah, I might have to catch them another time.
Exactly.
Yo, but why, yo, you don't want these black people come up to your show and blah, blah, blah. You know, when you can do this, you can have this person up there. And, you know, and I know she ain't mean no harm by this stuff.
Because she was just trying to see the business side, but it goes back to, guess what? The people that coming from Cali can also be the same people I got in here right now. They just ain't got their exposure, which is what we're trying to give them.
Well, you know, in this situation, this person is from Atlanta, like born and raised, and their family is deep in the streets out here. And it's somebody that I do have to have that connection with. Because still to this day, me and them are tight. You know what I mean? I really don't have no worries being in these streets out here. Just like, you know what I mean? It's not just because of that connection, but we got a bond, you know what I mean? And because, so that meant more to me than it did just to have somebody, because I could have had that person come and sit down, conversate, because even now, I sit down and talk to so many artists, they get up, they go about their business, they don't even think about DLE Radio. They don't even know my name.
Well, come on now. They don't even give you a shout out.
No shout
repost.
They take, I post their interviews, they don't even repost their shit. Or their own interviews, you know what I mean?
And that's crazy because you giving them something that probably ain't nobody else even thought about even giving them off the real.
We talk about that all the time, man. So my thing is, with the person that, the people that I had made that bond with for that day, it was a better move for me than it was to cancel with them and have somebody else come in because they was from out of town. But that's the most I ever had to deal with. Of course, I hear this all the time, you know, at some point it was, oh, you must be fucking up. You know what
Oh,
I'm
I done heard that one
you
too.
be fucking them, you know, because and Urban Chick and Miss E, who's been there two separate. They've never been there at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Miss E came after Urban Chick, and she was a listener. Miss E was a listener. She was listening to the station here in Atlanta, and she called in one time. She just had she was very, very funny, just funny. I was like, yo, you need to. I had her come in and had OG just come in the same day, and ever since then they've been tight with me. But Urban Chick, the crazy thing is I met her through my trainer, and never had no passes, no nothing like that. But she's always been she was supportive. But even now, I ain't speak to her in a while, but sometimes she'll if she get a certain artist that'll come through her way and she think it's dope, she'll be like, yo, Quap, check this artist out.
Okay.
You know, so yeah.
So it's pretty much like how you pick them is pretty much based upon how they already coming to you. Just like how we sitting down right now and she's sitting over there.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, now she a host.
Yeah. I kid you not. so with Urban Chick, the craziest thing is I was working out with my trainer. Shout out to Kareem, my homeboy Reem. Let me train you.
Mm-hmm.
Who's actually, he has a show on the station too.
Okay. Shout out to you.
Yeah. Cash Rules is the name of his show.
Okay.
But he ended up recording me working out and shit, and next thing you know, I'm in Lidl or something like that. I forgot the name of the supermarket.
Okay.
And I'm walking out, and she was like, yo, I know your face. Oh, and then put two and two together. It was from his, she trained with him too.
Okay.
So through a mutual friend, that's how me and her got connected. And it was just on since then, man. But never been a flirty thing or nothing, but man, so many women have said to me, yo, you sure you ain't messing with her? Or you know, and I was like, no man, me and this girl ain't nice.
Period.
You know, and she was matter of fact, she had somebody, she had a whole nigga that whole time, and then the nigga was thinking the same shit. So I don't know. Shit be crazy, man. It be crazy how, you know, working with females would have you looking.
Mm-hmm.
So, I never had that type of issue.
So let me ask this then, cause see, my problem would be, I ain't even gonna lie, anybody that's been tapped in, y'all already know. See, my problem be, it'll be about business, always about business, especially if it's a guest, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. My issue used to be, I would bring my relationships to the show, because people would be interested in trying to figure out okay, well, you know, you talking all this, you know what I'm saying, who you rocking with, and you know, at one point in period, you know, when I was with an individual, I brought that energy on the show. And it wasn't a bad look, but the problem came once we separated. Now everybody wants to know what happened. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because that's honestly how the podcast even started. Like I said, I was on Good Gas Talk with them, episode 3, right after Nip died. Hopped on with them. Mind you, at this point, bro, I ain't have no place to stay. I'm sleeping out my lift car. I'm grinding. I'm really not necessarily in the streets on no street shit, but I'm in the streets because this is where I'm at right now. And I got in a situation to whereas me and this young lady was together, and you know, she wasn't as sexually active as I was. You know what I'm saying? She was cool maybe once a week or maybe once every 2, you know what I'm saying? Not that she had a busy schedule, it just that wasn't on her mind. Versus me on the other hand, I'm like, you can't look good and expect me not to want to do that. That's like having a nice ass car outside and expecting not to drive that bitch every day. You look good for a reason. So it was like, okay, what can I do to put this energy somewhere else instead of me rebuting back to the old young mindset of me and mess with N and everything. That's what, you know, made me actually thought about even doing the podcast to come up with Dirty Talk. I'm like, okay, I know it's somebody out there that's going through relationship problems. I know it's somebody out there that if they had somebody to speak for them that wasn't them, their spouse or significant other would get the message more. Because it's just like right now, if you tell your lady, hey babe, I want to do AYZ, She was like, man, there you go, that bullshit. But then you turn around, let's just say you hit the 85 South Show, you see DC and talking about the same thing y'all just talked about last night. She's gonna listen to that quicker than you being right there in front of her face. So I said, damn, it's the same concept.
Yeah, we all do that.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, let me start a show on that's barbershop and salon talk all into one, to whereas we can all get along, and that's what made me even, you know, kind of like how you were just saying what you did. All my hosts that was on my show started out as guests. When I started this show, man, it was literally me by myself. On the first 2 episodes, bro, I felt like a crazy man in the house recording, just talking to my damn self. I was like, what the fuck? And then shout out my girl Diamond Beautiful. She got down, tapped in with me and was like, yo, let me, you know what I'm saying, let me get on your show. And I'm like, damn, you want to get on my shit? Like, this shit ain't even got nobody on it, just me. And she came through it. Like I said, people don't realize, like, when you doing a show, podcast, radio, studio, that shit costs money. You have to get the equipment. I didn't have nothing but my PC that's over there. Didn't have no internet on it, okay? So I had to go to McDonald's or go hit somebody's Wi-Fi. I had a 30-day trial on Mixcraft for a studio program because I was just restarting because I had left, tried to do truck driving, so I sold all my shit before I left. With no intent on coming back home doing back to the regular. I'm gonna just be a trucker for all my life. Shit didn't work out, came back home, what you gonna do? Go back to what you know best. Instead of going to the block, I went ahead and went back to my music shit, you know what I'm saying? And when I thought about podcasts, she came over her computer. She had time, she was interested in being a female producer, just like with you and your man. I said, well shit, how about this? I plug you in over here, and you bring your laptop over here, we're gonna run another 30-day trial. Bro, when we did that, I learned so much from Diamond, and she ain't even into this shit like this. You know what I'm saying? She put the iPhone up, start pressing record, like, what the hell you doing? You know what I'm saying? And this during the time where we still get familiar with going live on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like Instagram Live was the feds. You didn't touch that shit. You know what I'm saying? So when we learned that it was actually a marketable tool, she hit me with that Curtis blow. Keep that motherfucker rolling. Don't stop the camera. And then I posted me and her pictures up, posted a little clip of me and her up, and when I tell you, bro, that shit went crazy. I said, whoa. I said, okay, Diamond, look, we gotta do this shit again. So we did like the next couple episodes, and then that's when the other guests started coming on, people started coming through. And at first it was more like a community thing, like all the homies, all the homegirls, push up, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody come get on the show. Mind you, I just had this one mic, this same mic, we all put it in the middle, and everybody circled up and we talking our shit. You know what I'm saying? But then it got to a point where, okay, now we just talking shit. We need to make it more substance, exactly, content, you know what I'm saying? So as I went from season 1, that's why season 1, I always tell people, that's that fresh run. That's that rawness, because you're going to hit everything before I learn what I'm doing now. Season 2 was moving into professionalism, but at the same time, you're dealing with conflicts, you're dealing with family, you're dealing with different relationships. Like, I go back and listen to 2 of the episodes that had me and the ex on it, bro, back in the day, when after me and her broke up. Man, I was getting depressed behind that shit. I found myself in this damn room, goddamn crying, like, oh my God, why we ain't together? She said she loved me. She said it on air, she fucking loved me. And then I said, hold on, bro. Pick your goddamn self up. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? The world don't know what you got going on. And they this is love and hip hop shit. You're entertaining. You see what I'm saying? And then if you find yourself, like I had to pick myself up, bro, because after everything went down, I put a couple episodes on reschedule, let's do it later. And it wasn't on my crew, it was on me. Because I didn't have my mind right mentally. And once I got my mind back right, I said, let go. We on now.
Well, you know, mental health is a big deal, man. Especially now. You know, a good thing you didn't decide that you was gonna end it all.
Hell no, because let me tell you this, not to cut y'all shot was crazy. She was a gangster for real. Like, I had to deal with, now you deal with nigga problems when you beef with niggas in the street. I had to deal with that from her. And it's a female, you know what I'm saying? And the sad part about it, you know what we call now toxicity. I was loving that shit. For some strange ass reason, that shit brought me in. It kept me wanting to go for more. Like, oh, she about to do wet to me? Oh, well, I'm ready. But in the back of my mind, I'm turned down like a motherfucker. Like, well, I can't wait. I hope this shit just got down smeared out. We can make it all back up. You feel me? But then, you know, you learn You know, and I was speaking about this on the last episode. When you learn to sit back and love yourself and realize what you got, especially us as parents out here, we got something to live for. Granted, it's no longer about us; it's about our children. But in order for you to do for your children and love your children properly, you got to love yourself.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you got to get to that point so that nobody can tell you what you're worth.
Period.
You know what you're worth. You got to get to a point where you know what you can and or what you will tolerate. Nobody's perfect, bro. Nobody's perfect. And you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna still learn some new shit. Every situation is a new situation that you gotta learn, you know, some of the lessons in there. And you can't take what you took from the last situation into the next.
Yes.
But one thing you can take away is certain shit that you learned about yourself. So everywhere you go, you can learn the shit that you're learning about yourself. You can take, but I would tell people, man, I took a break. I took a break. I took about a 4-year break from being with anybody.
4 years?
Yeah.
That's a college degree.
Yeah, I know.
4 years, man. Now that shows discipline right there.
Well, shit, it wasn't. Trust me, it wasn't me trying to be disciplined.
Okay.
It was just the fact that I was I put more work on me. I was dealing with personal shit like bills, and you know, I'm trying to make that happen. I realized I put in a lot of time with somebody and did not focus on the shit that I needed in my life. Cause you know we forget that, and not just men, women deal with this too.
Yeah.
But you know it's the one that
puts in the most that don't get it back in the end when the separation ends. I had an old school cat tell me that, bro, in 2010. He said the one that put the most in when the breakup or the separation happens is the one that's hurted the most. It's like a business. If you only put 10% in and the business closed and I put 60, who gonna hurt more, you or me? I am. I put more in. You didn't put that much, so you can charge that shit to the
The
guy.
crazy thing is, I don't want to put it like, hey, I put the most in, but you know, you can tell when you walk away and you're trying to, you like, damn, I spent so much time allowing them to get their shit together that I wasn't getting my shit together at the same time.
Yep.
You know, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck did I do these past 10 years?
Boy, come on,
you know
man.
what I'm saying?
Come on,
now
man.
I gotta rebuild, and not only rebuild, like it's really starting.
And you gotta find yourself again, because it's like I told you before, when me and my daughter mother separated, bro, I left the game in 2011 when I got with her. So in my early 20s, when I was supposed to be partying, I was trying to be a family man.
Right.
So once we finally separated, went our separate ways, now I'm trying to learn how to be a man, period, because all I know is take care of family. I was still cooking the same, bro. I still was cooking for 3, and it's only me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Homies coming over, damn, bro, you got hella food. Man, take your plate home, bro. I ain't gonna eat all this shit. But then when it comes to a relationship standpoint, now you ready to jump back in the field, but everybody else is now in their relationships. Now they got their families going on. Now you the oddball. When originally they were the oddballs because you seen the bigger picture, but it just didn't work out in the way you wanted it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You get complacent at times, and then you get to the point where you like, you know what? I'm fucking good.
Come on,
you know
now.
what I mean? When you get to that point where you're like, yo, I'm fucking good now. Like, you just be straight. Like, you know, when you're not trying to wait to see the motherfucker call me, they oh god damn. You know, looking out the window to see if they gonna pull up and apologize.
Checking their Instagram posts and they talking about you today.
Man, we ain't paying attention to that. When that shit blows over, that's why I say give yourself time, man, because I kid you not, I wouldn't be able to give anybody else to give myself to someone else entirely. I wouldn't be able to do that, yo, because. And I think it's unfair, to be honest. I see if you just going out here, you just trying to dig something down.
Yeah, you know, go ahead and handle your business, but when you trying to invest, nah. So let me add this, bro. Cause see, normally I always do the last talk with a dirty question. You get what I'm saying? But we've been talking so much knowledge and so much wisdom and so much power. I'm going to flip it. As our last question going now, where you're at right now, all over, you know what I'm saying, the accomplishments you made, even from entertainment to personal, to just being a great father and, you know, being a role model for the neighborhood to be able to say, damn, if he did it, I know I can do it. Right. Going forward, you know, when you're looking for a significant other, or if a significant other was trying to find you, what would be the best advice you would give a new young entrepreneur or a new young boss or CEO, whether it's male or female, that's potentially looking for love so they won't find themselves, like we just agreed, putting so much in, and then when it doesn't reciprocate back because that other person is not where you're at, you done damn near lost everything.
Yeah. You know, it's hard to tell, man, because you want to say so many things. You want to say, work on yourself first. You want to say, I don't want to be cliche like everybody else with this bullshit about get to the bag first or get your bag first. Yes, get your finances correct first, because that's what you come into the table with. Your finances, what you can do as far as a provider, and not when I say provider, I don't mean finances only. Who you can be in that relationship, because that's gonna tell you where you stand. They can walk away and you still gonna be that person, you know. So you don't wanna walk into a relationship trying to adapt to somebody else's life. You don't want
say that one more time. You don't want to walk into a relationship trying to adapt someone else's life. Be yourself. I'm sorry.
And you know, you're right. and you also want to be able to allow them to have their own voice, their own life, and to be their own individual. And you gotta understand there's gonna be some ups and downs, yo. You know, a lot of things, a lot of people get this. I guess over the past years with social media, everybody think that everything is peachy. It's not always gonna be peachy. You're gonna have some arguments. You're gonna have some good times, and then you're gonna have some shit that when you disagree about certain moves. You know, you gotta remember everybody doing this for the first time again.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So when you get with this next female, you get with the next dude that you with, you gotta understand this is a new person. You're gonna learn. You learn new things, and you're gonna go through some shit with that person. Probably the same shit that you went through with the last person.
Because they still ain't healed from that other person. Right. Or you may not have healed from that other person.
Right. You know, but the deal is to not run. That's the problem. That's the deal. You know, if I would say anything, my main thing would be is stop running.
Okay.
Fight. If you're gonna get in the ring, fight.
Take it 12 rounds.
Yeah, man, because you know, we so quick to see issues in people, we be ready to run away. You know what I mean? Nobody's like, you know what, I done did this for the. I mean, I'm sure, you know, with your relationship, I know in my past, that shit was about running away.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It got to a point where it was like, you know what, and everybody think, okay, well, you've been there for this amount of years. It's time. You know, you don't need to fight for it no more. No, you
gotta fight every damn day, but guess what? There's always somebody new.
Yeah. Now my thing is, you walk away from something that you already know that you can work on or whatever, and you get into something with the next person. Now you're dealing with the same shit you was already dealing with.
Now you fighting with more people because you don't know who you dealing with. And this is the same one you know. Okay, it's just that ex over there or that college. You know somebody new. Now you gotta ask now you just said, now I'm walking into a new arena with more opponents that I don't even have no idea about. I thought we were playing defense, not offense.
Right. And mind you, on your path, you done jumped in the bed with a few people prior to getting into this relationship. So when you get with somebody new, you have to get to know them, man, and just know that it's work to do, man. You can't just a relationship is work, man.
Period.
You gotta work on it, and you gotta just know that you're not perfect, they're not perfect, and you guys gotta work on shit together. They've been hurt before, just like you've been hurt. You know what I'm saying? So nobody's an angel in the situation. We all have our issues. We just gotta work them out. You know?
Period, man. You know what? That shout out my girl I am Chelsea. She said it the other night, man. We gotta learn to heal first before we jump in another relationship. You know, not to say that you can't get with somebody and they be a factor to your healing, but ultimately it's up to you to heal yourself. Yeah. Can't nobody do it for you. You gotta make the steps for yourself. You can give me $1 million right now, but it's up to me to spend it wisely. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, before we get up out of here, want to give all our shout outs, you dig what I'm saying? First of all, if y'all ain't already tapped in Love for Crew, go on the website www.loveforcrew.com. Place your orders. Man, the shit going crazy. Shout out Fresh Industries. Always keeping a family member, always drip looking good. Shout out Split Decisions Creation. Ladies, fellas, y'all be spending money on diamonds and jewelry. Bro, just go ahead and get you some homemade, customized shit from the home, girl. Ladies, go and get your keychains with the little fur balls on them. Tap in with her, you dig what I'm saying? Y'all can find me on Instagram at ondeck_KT_Love4Crew. You dig what I'm saying? Make sure you follow the podcast at Dirty Talk ATL. We are on YouTube, True Made TV. We got our own playlist, Dirty Talk playlist. We will be on Roku TV if we're not already on there by the time y'all watch this. Because I don't know if y'all heard of it. This is the season 4 first episode. So you already know we kicked off the goddamn ground coming through the door. You dig what I'm saying? So y'all make sure y'all stay tapped in. Apple Podcast, Spotify, Dirty Talk, ATL Podcast. If you don't see that, it still might have us under our pride name, Dirty Talk with MrTakeYaBabyMomma. Make sure you hit them 5 stars on there. And bro, tell them one more time where to get at you, what's the websites, let them know.
Yo, you can follow me at Quathe One Big Deal. That's KWATHE, the number 1 Big Deal. But I prefer you to go to DLE Radio, one word, at DLE Radio. You can go at DLE Radio on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. You can go to www.dleradio.com. Listen, artists, we are looking to help you expose your music. Alright, so if you need your song played, come, holler at us, you know, wherever you want to go, to any of those social medias or to DLERadio.com, you know, and ask how you can be placed in rotation on the radio station. Also, if you have a film, you want to promote your film, advertise it, whatever you want to call it, holler at us. We'll put it on the website. We'll promote it on our social media. I mean, we do everything, man. We coming out for covering your events. You want good, dope red carpet coverage with somebody that's gonna be at your red carpet and turning that motherfucker up. You know, and got good conversation for the people that come through and make them feel like they special. You know, not just kissing their ass. You know, yeah, you know how that go, man. Yeah. You know, you get a lot of people that just sit at the red carpet and they just kiss ass. We don't kiss ass over here. We have good conversation, and we provide a dope ass red carpet for you. We put that bitch together. The recap gonna look nice. You know what I mean? We gonna make you look real good. You know what I mean? But other than that, man, it's been so dope coming and sitting down, man, talking with you. Dirty Talk Atlanta, man. I like Dirty Talk ATL. I like the fact that you put this together, man, and you know you took what you had and put it together. That's that, you know, from the grit. I did the same thing, and people don't understand one thing, and I'm gonna tell you, let the shit slow cook.
Let it marinate.
Let it marinate, bro, because everybody wants shit so fast. They want this shit to pop the minute, you know, you gonna have people come to you and say, yo, we could pay for followers, we could pay for this, we could pay. Nah, let that shit just slowly cook. I kid you not, 5 years now, DLE Radio, I have not paid for one follower, no nothing. So my numbers on Instagram don't look as big as my numbers on Live 365. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm almost at 7,000 active listeners, which is hard to have. Shit, I'm sure regular radio ain't even getting that.
Nah. Cause not even artists that's dropping music can't even get that on Apple Music in a week.
So my thing is, it took 5 years to get to that point. when you go on Instagram, it shows you I got about, well, last time I checked it was 1,700 and some change. But overnight, I got about 1,800 and some change right now, close to 1,900 followers. All organic of people just coming and following because they see the footage that's going out there. And they're like, you know what, I want to follow. And we follow people back. But it's just a matter of just let that shit go. Whatever you do, keep doing what you're doing. Let this motherfucker slow cook, and you're gonna come to a dope ass bowl of fucking gumbo that can't nobody fuck with. You know what I mean? I know that for sure. You know, there's a sound out right now where the dude be like, man, I know I'm dope or something like that. You be like, I know it, man. Can't nobody fuck with me, man. I know it. And that's how I feel when it comes to this shit. So, you know, it's a privilege to be on your show and sit there and talk with you. Because I don't get to talk as much as I want to when it comes to about the shit that I've been through. I always listen to other people and get the shit out of them. And this is so dope to be able to sit down and talk with you, fam.
Man, for sure.
Y'all check in with KT, man. You definitely doing something, man.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, bro. When you gave me the opportunity to come on yours, bro,
Yeah.
I felt the same way. Like, damn, I'm always interviewing folks. Ain't nobody ever asked to interview me. Shit. Now I get to pop my shit. Okay, bet, man.
Shit.
So I want to say thank you, man.
And we're gonna have that too. The actual sit down and come through and just kick it. And that's gonna be soon too. I was waiting until the studio was finished, but you know I really can't wait no longer, man. I'm getting to the point where I'm ready to bring people in.
Well, I'm the same way. That's why I started dropping down episodes on the podcast page. I'm like, you know what? I was gonna wait till November, but I said, what the hell I'm waiting for? I already waited long damn enough. Shit, like you said, let's get this shit rolling, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, everybody that's been tapped in, thank y'all. Like I said, y'all make sure y'all follow us. Shout out to the camera crew. Yes. Shout out to the photographer behind the scenes that y'all can't see. They're keeping us working. And man, y'all stay tapped in, man. Next week, we're going to get y'all another episode. And we